Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Today is the first radio talk of the year 2023. And we come out in this year with this incredible power of understanding what is the woman aspect, the daughter of the great mother. And there has been many situations in the system, because the system is inside of the people, about what it is normal or what you have accepted as normal, that it is not the original woman aspect. I do need to say that the woman aspect is the enlightener. She is completely psychic. You just know things because you are very much holding hands with the mother. The only one that can heal, it is the great mother. And there has been many situations that in many cultures everywhere in the world that women just accept it as normal. So here I am with Sara, mi hija, Damatina, and we were talking about this. We have a powerful sweat, a powerful ceremony that they bring all these teachings and understanding what is the situation. You see, what you see in the world, it is just a reflection of how the women are deep inside of themselves. And the woman aspect is the one that it has been so much under attack for long time. So, what do you feel, mijita?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the sweat was amazingly beautiful and powerful. And there have been so many messages. And when you just talked about how the world that we're in, it's a reflection of where the women are. I think for me, it's been incredibly powerful to see how there are so many situations that I accepted as normal that were so not normal, that were like really distorted, very minimizing of the feminine. And yet, because, since birth, really, I think all women can relate to being inundated by the messaging that, of the living in that programming of the patriarchy, and for many generations too. We learn to adapt to it, to survive it. And yet it's really it's like that's what needs to stop now within the self, is that aligning with it. And really being able to step back and see that none of it, most of it for me, because being raised in the United States, none of it was normal, quote normal. It was my normal until I, understood the teachings and understood what it means to be a true human being. So I think even that alone has been really powerful to see how if I don't bring my presence, if I'm not really aware of bringing the presence of my own presence, there is this woundedness that will kick in and kind of, whatever it was that we've learned to adapt to it, to survive it, now is the time for me to see in myself, okay, I need to heal these places so I can shift it and own my power, stand in my truth, and really speak out that, no, this isn't normal. This isn't what I want to be part of creating anymore.
And it is true. I think what we are healing is so many generations.
Yeah.
And that has been a woundedness that it has been inherited.
Yeah.
And that's why people see it as normal. They think that's how it is. And just accept it and not seeing it in a different way. I need to say that the new world, it's a world of balance. It's not patriarchal. It's not matriarchal either. It is both happening at the same time. And this is happening inside of you. That's where the big magic is really happening. The real power resides It is truly inside of yourself. The divine feminine, it is really holding hands with the masculine. With that divine masculine means you are being able to make the realization of the self. Means you as a woman, you're going to make what it is in the inside the same of the outside. In your war inside of yourself, that is exactly what you're going to manifest. That's exactly what you're going to attract. If you are in peace, that's exactly what you're going to bring forward. It is all part of this incredible experience, the realm of love that you are. And the daughter of the Great Mother is not a beggar of love. So when women beg for love, it's not natural. It's not normal. Yet, we have been working with women from everywhere in the world. And they all come out with something very disturbing about how even the fathers at the first moment that they knew it was a daughter, deep inside they wanted a boy instead of a girl. And that is an energy that the women carry because they feel that they need to please the masculine constantly just to receive crumbles of love. And the women has been considered lesser beings for such a long, long time. You go to school, that is what they're going to project into you. You see in your family. I mean, nobody told you, most likely, that you were sacred and how powerful it is to be a woman. That it is not about suffering the rest of your life because you're a woman. When I think about all these incredible women teachers that has been in this very beautiful planet, they were all amazing. Everything was related with this love that they are. But they wouldn't accept in any way that woundedness that it comes from the system, making them feel lesser than. You know, I was reading the other day a story about Tara, and she is amazing. I mean, beautiful, beautiful being. And they told her, well, we're praying for the next life for you to be a man. And she begins to laugh and laugh and laugh. That was ridiculous. If you see what is that Holy Spirit, it is talking about the women aspect. If you see every beautiful man that has been in this planet, it is always the woman, the one who have enlightened him. It's just that it didn't pass through his story, but it did pass through her story. You have the Pitonisas. The Oracle of Delphi is about the Pitonisas. They were women, priestesses. They were incredible women that they were able to guide. You have the teachings of the Muses, where the men will sit with every single one and get inspired, means bringing the spirit, inspired by them, asking for that knowledge that resides in the women. You have Magdala. You know, it was this Pope that came out with the idea, let's make her a whore. Until nowadays is beginning the truth to come out. You know, she was the Christ wife. He was her husband. And she has her own power and knowledge. You know, she worked and studied in Egypt, in the School of Enlightenment. I mean, you have White Buffalo Calf woman. She was a woman aspect. She wasn't a mother. And she came to teach a way of living. You have many, I mean, Ixchel. I love Ixchel. You have so many women in that understanding about it, that they came and how they did it, they refused to be victim or predator. And everything comes about that. How can you not be a victim of a patriarchal system, but stand up in your truth and hold your truth? And how it has been this incredible longing that the women have about where is the true man? What happened with the men? Why they want to do all these things in their programming? They have suffered too.
Yeah.
And we need to stop longing and understand that that masculine, that place in you, it is bringing a very different creation, a different manifestation. Yet what the woman has accepted as normal, it is not. You're far beyond that. What do you feel about this, Lynn?
Yeah, I think that once we understand that, when we understand that the woundedness, when we come from that woundedness, it takes us into separation. And the programming is designed to do that. It pokes at all those wounds and the pain and the story of victim predator, and yet it's really a hiding from the self. And the men don't know better. I mean, I think it's up to women, because women are the enlighteners. I'm at least starting to understand how this works, and that it is the work of the feminine to enlighten first the self, our own minds, and bring our truth forward and heal those places within ourselves. But also, when we do that, it's shifting the world that we create too. And we were talking earlier about how the patriarchy, it ends with us, or it doesn't. But it's where does it stop? Because if I want my daughter to live in a world that's not this, well, then I need to end it in myself, because it's happening inside me. And I think once, at least for me, like being able to see so much of this as not normal, like being able to really step back and understand all of it is really designed to keep me into this place of feeling like a victim, giving my power away over and over again. And yet, and also we were talking a lot about fear too, and how it can feel so big, and yet when you face it, and understand it in a different way and override it, it often just vanishes. It's like, oh my gosh, what was I fearing exactly? But having the guts to see those places in ourselves and heal it and not align with it any longer. I think that's the work right now. It's what we're being called to do. So we can move into a beautiful world, beautiful love.
Well, part of the big distortions is that women don't know their power.
Mm.
They always said, well, it is a patriarchal system, the man is in the power.
Oh.
Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you think about it and see it closely, everything has been about women. Women that they were wounded, create wounded boys and men.
Right.
And it was part of the equation that we do need to be responsible about that. And that, oh my gosh, sexually, it is the woman who holds the power, and she is the one that enlightens the men. And you're doing this also inside of you. I mean, you have the understanding of that sacred sex, that it is happening inside of you. You have your male and female hemispheres of your brain. How do you bring it together? It is a union. Always is happening about that. It is the woman that creates everything. You see the masculine. It is just that manifestation of who she is and what happened to her. Yes, you inherit from your dad a way of living, but you inherit from your mother all this wisdom, even if she wasn't aware about it, because in this planet, everything comes from the feminine. Everything. Every creation, it is coming from that aspect of the feminine. She is life. She is the life giver. She is the light giver. She is that enlightener, and yet, what is it that it is stopping the women to even comprehend such a thing? I mean, I work with so many people and so many medicine men that I love so much. I honor some of them very much. And I was talking to this medicine man the other day about it. And he was saying, a woman is being honored and respected at the moment that she becomes a mother. And I said, no. A woman is being respected all the time.
Right.
As a woman, you need to respect it, not because of a mother. And yet she's bonded one with the source that she is scared so much. I mean, it has been quite a challenge for me in the United States. I needed to learn a language. I needed to understand what other people comes about, because when I was in Mexico only working with Maya Mexica people, we are on the same page. It was simple. And the understanding of the mother is quite different. Here in the United States, is the realm of the eagle, and that was wounded just the same way of the condor was wounded too. And coming it together and understanding this is a big deal. So when we talk about the great mother, it was a challenge because people don't like their mothers. And that was installed in the system. The biological mothers don't count. Only the father counts. And that's how it is in a very, very patriarchal system that it is. So breaching that understanding that there is the feminine side of God. And that feminine side of God, it has been bringing these teachings. Yet, nowadays, that the mother is talking to the women everywhere in the world because she needs to begin to embrace her own power and do what she come here to do, to enlighten. Yet, in order to enlighten, you do need to bring that light in every aspect of yourself. The distortions that it has been in there, it needs to go. Yet, what is it that you have accepted normal? When I think about it, and we were talking in our coffee time about it, I have an amazing dad. He was a medicine man. And, oh my gosh, we have these big fights all the time. And that was healthy and beautiful. Because everything for him, it was about that patriarchal system. And then, for me, I was listening to the great mother since I was 2 years old. And I was said, nope, I don't think this is true. I don't think it's that. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that. That way of living, I'm not going to perpetuate the patriarchal system. And that was healthy and beautiful. We were very bonded. And I trusted him 100% because we were able to have a good fights about it and come out in terms about it. I was not there to please. And when you think about what happened to the women, that they felt afraid of breaking the rules. And now the mother is saying you need to speak your truth. They're having troubles. Because they have been living in a realm where everything It was deduction mind, from the outside to the inside. And it is true. For the masculine, they need to see a sacred woman to click inside. They need even meditation to silence your mind in order to go into your heart. And then now is the opposite. That induction mind. How do that works? From that place as the heart, how do you bring it forward? It's quite different story what it is going on. Mm-hmm. But this is exactly what it is, the medicine that it is needed on the planet. Oops, sorry. Okay, what do you feel about this, Mijita?
Yeah, I think in many ways the men don't know what they're doing in many ways. and I think that is because of the woundedness of their, the wounded mother, all of these things. And understanding that that enlightenment needs to come from the woman. Like you said, that's the medicine the world needs right now. I think one of the messages we saw the last week was there were so many men who are really suffering, who are really struggling.
Yeah, we count seven anxiety
men
and
who are sharing. They're not okay. Now, do they want help? No. Maybe yes, some no. But really, no one's benefiting from the system. People are very much struggling and suffering in this. But what's going to shift it? It really is, oh my gosh, like you said, just breaking those rules, those unwritten rules. And I think if women, and really facing that woundedness and not letting it rule us anymore. And the mother's there ready to heal it. It's incredible what can happen.
I feel that it is just way too important to comprehend. Wounded people creates more woundedness in the world. Yeah. And they don't know that they're wounded.
No, they don't.
And that is because you accepted normal.
Right.
So when we in this year go into, okay, what is the things that it needs to be done? What do you have accepted normal? I love men, really love men. And what the man needs, it is that understanding of the feminine. They need to see that sacred woman to click deep inside of themselves, and it scares them. It scares them, shake them in such a deep manner when they see a woman in power, because they cannot control it. And that was the whole thing. If you think about, Mijita, in the School of Enlightenment for Masculine, for the men, the most incredible initiation, strongest initiation for the masculine was overcoming the ISIS thing. The woman aspect. And when I mean overcome it, is understanding it deep inside and embracing it and understand the realm of love that they are. And there is a fear in the masculine. There is so much of that fear that they have. I would love to work with men, to have a group of men, and to explain that there is nothing to be afraid. How can you be afraid of the same thing that it will heal you? When I think about it, how do this work in the feminine and what it is the needed about it? We're going to have, by the way, a webinar very soon. Send us an email if you want to be part of this. And to see what is it in that powerful woman, and where is that woundedness that at the moment that you touch the culture, it will be a lot of that patriarchal system, maybe. Very few places still will honor the feminine in one way or the other, but it has been very much a global situation. Just very small tribes that they have no contact with the rest of the world, that they understand and embrace this. And this is a very important thing. And in this new world of balance, you do need to realize, what is it and how do this work? And what happened about the women? I mean, I have seen you also passing through all these things going on with you.
Mm-hmm.
And realizing it. What do you accept it as normal?
Yeah.
And when I think about it too, there is this big story in Mexico, the Koyorshowski. She was against the mother. And she was so wounded that she wanted to destroy the mother. So Coatlicue ran, and she was pregnant. And she ran because here is Koyorshowski, her own daughter, with 400 warriors, wanted to destroy her. 400, it has to do with the movement. And you can see that patriarchal system is against the women. Yes, attacking the women. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, it was this beautiful man, Huitzilopochtli, that he born as a grown-up man and said, I'm going to protect you, mother. So he did. In the story, he did. He cut Koyorshowski in pieces. And the only one that could put her together again, it is the Great Mother. And then it was in 1986, I might be, maybe 85, when it was this big eclipse and everything was about Huitzilopochtli versus Koyorshowski. And they say in the ancestors, in there is going to decide if there is going to be light in the world. And it was. That's why we were able to bring those teachings more publicly. Even though that, oh my gosh, people listening, it has been very, very challenging to bring these teachings into the system. I mean, even the app, Messages from the Great Mother, wasn't working. It is working now, by the way. Please download it.
Yeah, it wasn't in the store.
It wasn't in the store.
But now it is.
It is. Now it is. You fix it.
Please go. Purchase it.
And purchase it because
it's
Mother
amazing.
Wants you to know that she's walking with you.
It's beautiful.
But every time, sending an email, it has been a struggle.
Yeah.
It's a challenge.
All these forces.
And tapping into different cultures, it has been a big challenge. There are still words that I don't understand in English. And many things that I don't understand about culture. But anyway, the challenge, it was not just me. It was for so many people it is that they carry this knowledge. And that it is very, very important to bring it forward. So, what is it that the women reject? The healing of the mother. And it is very, very important because the daughter of the Great Mother, the woman aspect, it needs to heal in order to do her work that she has come here to do. What do you feel about this?
Oh, as you were saying that, I was thinking too that, that one of the messages was also really just needing to leave behind that shame and guilt and resentment and all those things, all those parts of the aspects that need to be healed, but also knowing that, the thing about, I'm not good enough for the mother. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm a bad daughter. That also needs to be overcome
in the air. Yeah.
And it's not about that. Yeah. You are love. And
no matter what you do.
Yeah. And these are lessons.
I love you.
They're lessons to grow and evolve.
Yes.
Seeing it from that way. And I think that's also part of it is changing that understanding of the self, understanding it in a different way.
Well, in this year, it's all about women.
Yeah.
And this understanding is just way too important, and it is so deep that we can be in this radio talk like forever.
Yeah, we could. There's a lot here.
It's a lot
Like
going
the
on.
iceberg, but that's
It's
okay.
just the tip of the iceberg.
But it's a start.
But it is a good start. I mean, that is a very important. You have a new beginning in this year. Yeah. And this new beginning starts with you. Can we leave behind the old and bring the new? And we do have the school online going, which has been very, very powerful. It is your time. You need to find your work. You need to find who you are. The only one that you need to reach is you. So visit our website, magdalas.com. That is MAGDALAS.com. And check around. Subscribe to our newsletter. But subscribe in this radio talk. Share it. People needs to know. And it is about that sisterhood that it has been very challenging to bring everyone together, because the patriarchal system did this divide and conquer kind of a deal. And this is the time that it is all of us bringing it together. And we do need to understand that in a deep manner. Download Messages from the Great Mother. Now it's available. I didn't know that it wasn't. Yeah. But now it is. It's in your phone. And embrace the work, because it is beautiful. It is the biggest adventure. Remember that you're not a beggar of love. You are love. Remember that you are life. You have always been alive. Well, thank you, mijita.
No, thank you.
Tlatzocomate, tlatzocomate, tlatzocomate. I am you. I am Magdala.